What in the bloody hell? Just look at this blimey map. The buggers bloody forgot Australia and New Zealand. Well, I know a little bit about what happened, says Canada. Aussie lives upside down, so he's located in the bottom of the world. Meanwhile, Kiwi loved Lord of the Rings so much they declared themselves Middle Earth. And so both have asked to be mapped exactly where they are located. Oh, if Australia is behind the paper, then New Zealand is in between the papers. I think that's basically Middle Earth in a way. Here's Canada trying to explain to the UK, but I don't think they're buying it really. Bollocks, bloody absurd. I bloody discovered the lot. I know what they look like. They sure went upside down now, nor were they at the center of some fantastical story. Absolute insanity. Bloody makes me livid. Just because some bloody remembers that you exist doesn't mean you have to make some up. It just doesn't make any sense. Imagine living in the center of the earth and the other one upside down. You're having a laugh there, mate. Meanwhile, in the actual center of the earth, New Zealand Gandalf saying, "You shall not pass." And it seems like it's the Australians that are trying to pass. What's happening? Oh, Australia is trying to cross into the surface again. Oh, look, it's literally the Shire. Meanwhile, if we continue to scroll all the way down underneath the world, I think we're in the upside down. Well, we're definitely in Mordor, that's for sure. And then all the way at the very bottom, we actually have India down here on the moon. The Australians are once again trying to resurface. We have to stop them at all costs. I think my favorite part about this is it has an insane amount of Easter eggs. There's Sealand, the random oil rig, all the other European countries, couple of aliens, Switzerland, Austria, Liechtenstein in their Alps, something with Italy and the Pope. We actually had to go underneath hell to reach New Zealand and Australia too. Unfortunately, this finish ball is down here with the no Germans, I guess. It is kind of interesting that both these sibling countries have their own quirk, whether it's everyone joking that Australia lives in the upside down world, or whether it's New Zealand very often being left off world maps, just sometimes don't get the recognition they deserve. There's absolutely some references to this novel, A Journey to the Center of the Earth there, like that little nod. Incredible, I rate 10 out of 10. Union asks Sweden to Finland. Union asks Sweden now to Norway. Why nobody wants Union, cries Sweden. Yeah, I really wonder why Sweden. Could it be for some historical reasonings? What's ironic about this is there was actually a union between all the Nordic countries at some point in history, and believe it or not, Sweden was the country first to leave. They brought this upon themselves. Still so crazy to think if that would have survived, but I gotta admit, Sweden's unions up there do have some pretty interesting shapes. Life sucks, am poor, have no monies. I also have no weapons. How can survive? I am show you tip that are help to you. Make hold this, says Vietnam. Okay, responds Angola. Hello, comrade. Thank you, commie godmother. During the Cold War, it was really that easy. It's like the Tooth Fairy, but instead of teeth, it's like a hammer and sickle, and you get a whole bunch of cash. But unfortunately for the African nation of Angola, that money would run out in 1991. Even fairy godmothers do not live forever, or this one didn't at least. I don't know if the others do. I feel like a lot of other countries could relate to this at the time, though. Time to vote for a new president, says Singapore. Let's see what candidate to choosing. Independent, okay. I don't know how much I can actually trust this. What the freak, says Singapore. I don't think I've ever seen a non-angry Singapore in these comics. Why are they always so mad? Well, in this situation, I get it. As an American, trust me, I get it. This was a reference to the Singaporean presidential elections, which just happened recently. They were all three independent, but man, this guy destroyed 70% of the vote. It wasn't even close. So weird to me that I have to learn this stuff through Countryballs memes. They never talk about this in the US. Sir, you cannot bring alcohol here. It's not alcohol, you moron. Can't you read? You know this is an elementary school, right? I know where I am. I'm here to get my son. Christ almighty, it's only 2 in the afternoon and I'm already seeing 2 of yous. Papa, no, this is my friend, Ivory Coast. The frick you are on about? I don't give a let's go. Ireland, you're kidnapping my child again. Oh, this isn't good. No, it's not good, you drunk pig. I'm taking the children with me. Oh, I'm in trouble now. Right, bollocks to myself for that one. I've seen double plenty of times, but have never in my life seen triply. This is obviously a flag joke between Ireland and the Ivory Coast. They are very similar. As someone with like flag dyslexia, I make this mistake all the time. And this African nation, Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire, speaks French, so that's why they were doing that there. I love how this is clearly not the first time drunk Ireland dad has stolen the Ivory Coast. Who knows how many times he's done it actually. Exactly. Are you know that a single flip-flap of butterfly wing can cause hurricane in the other side of the world? That's why Ambet's Russia harness butterfly powers to hurricane you. Well, congratulations, Czechoslovenia Sky. That's like the most dumb thing I've heard from like anyone. Meanwhile, some time ago, many thanks Russia for giving me a new butterfly garden. Is more effective than anything for you, comrade. And believe it or not, this is kind of true. Many hurricanes do originate out of Cape Verde's waters here. As someone actually weirdly obsessed with hurricanes, they do always come from like this stream. Not always, but a lot of the time, vast majority of the time. I mean, they can form anywhere, obviously, but you can start to see a lot of them form here as they get pushed out towards the Caribbean. So basically, Russia's just farming butterflies and giving them to this African country. Makes sense, because those hurricanes just keep getting worse and worse every year. Talk about a little bit of trolling from Russia. Oh no, it's the Second Anglo-Boer War. Here we go. Starting in the year 1899. Boer uses siege warfare. Brit loses some HP. Doc. Brit uses regimental set pieces. Boer loses some HP. Hadoken. Boer uses guerrilla tactics. It's super effective. Brit loses 3 years. Is that so? Finish him. This is the Skyrim chant, right? Brit used scorched earth tactics. It's super effective. Boer is almost dead. Oh, there's a health bar right here. Brit uses bad camps. Boer is KO'd. It's all over. Brit wins. His health bar is all red. Welcome to the family, dear boy, said in 1902. Yeah, you could say that again. It's definitely going to be continued. Now, technically, this was the Second Boer War, but sometimes it's referred to as just the Boer War because the first one was actually very small. I like how this comic really does show the British did struggle there. Since the Boer War was the first time people started to really question the British Empire's dominance, looking into the numbers, it was pretty surprising. In Poland Ball comics, why always work, Germany? Live a little, says France, Italy, and Spain. No, must work. Meanwhile, in reality, live a little, folks, says Germany. Meanwhile, we have Hong Kong sweating insane work, Japan sweating insane work, and South Korea sweating insane work. These truly are the real workhorses. And actually, if you look at the data, this is backed up in reality. Maybe Germany seems like they work a lot when compared to other European countries, but compared to some Asian ones, that's not always the case. I remember actually reviewing this infographic a couple weeks ago. The graphic shows the average annual hours that people work. Meanwhile, Germany was actually doing pretty good. Meanwhile, it was actually Mexico working the most. Here's South Korea, though. It really just depends on how you measure this stuff, or also how effective you are. Maybe the Germans would say working smarter, not harder. Something like that, I don't know. What is it that you don't get? It's the Sea of Japan because it's next to Japan. No, it's the Sea of Korea because it borders Korea. Oh, see, Sea of Korea. Okay, I have a solution for our issue. Now there's no more confusion. The whole sea borders Japan, as the entire Korean peninsula have a Japanese flag attached to their head. And that's pretty much what they did like 100 years ago. They just kind of said, we're gonna take that whole thing over. That's one way to stop the confusion. And I love how this still goes on to this day. It just gets a lot more complicated in the south. We definitely still out here arguing about this. India, could you maybe please be stopping of pushing into Asia? I am. Too many mountains already. Lol, no, responds India. India, please. You are really pushing my Bhutans. Oh, is that how they say the word buttons in Bhutan? Just replace with Bhutan. Puns. I need more of those. This is referring to continental drift from the Indian subcontinent, still technically smashing into Bhutan today, giving them even more mountains. And given the Himalayan mountain range is by far the biggest mountain range on Earth, yeah, Bhutan probably doesn't want any more, especially because they're a lot smaller than Nepal. They don't got a lot to work with. I hope India begins to catch their drift. It was lame. I just wanted to try my own pun there. I had to try. Why you into brings artillery to our date, asks Russia to France. Because it is of excellent icebreaker. I'm leaving. No, please. Yeah, maybe France shouldn't bring that up. Wasn't Russia's proudest moment. So this reference here can actually be seen in the brand new Napoleon trailer as the Russians were over ice and yeah, the French were just gonna destroy the ice underneath them. It was a good icebreaker, but maybe not the best way to start a date with Russia. Come on, France. And big thanks to my patrons. Destiny Dunker 9000. Sebi, if you hear this, I love you. Drew now.
I am the kidnapper.
aPhatNarwhal. Carmel
Since no one pays
InquisitorXarius. KirinoIsBestGirl.
LuxembourgLover.
Robert RyeThePie,
TheGreatRalphy,
the Mexican
Twickenhamster,
ZaneyBoi,
JohnDenver,
Glad,
GoodOldRyah,
and Jack Traven's annoying friend.
And why am I doing this?